Hello, it is Wednesday, December 15th, 2021. I'm Chris Remo, and welcome back to my New York Times Crossword Daily Solve. It's a Wednesday puzzle, and it's sort of a special Wednesday puzzle, but I will get to that in a moment. First, I would like to thank Kathleen Quinn and David Connell, as well as the inestimable Hood Monster, for supporting this channel today. They're both members of the Patreon campaign at the benefactor level. And if you would like to join the Patreon, you can do so at patreon.com/dailysolve to support this series directly. And thank you so much to everybody who has done so. I very much appreciate it. And so yes, today is an interesting puzzle, this Wednesday puzzle. It's constructed by Jessie Bullock and Ross Trudeau. Ross Trudeau is a very experienced New York Times crossword constructor. This is his 46th puzzle published in the New York Times. And Jessie Bullock is his partner and, in life, I guess, and also sometimes in crossword construction. And yesterday, Ross was taken in for his 8th serious spinal surgery for a chronic condition that a rare and chronic genetic condition he has. And repeated spinal surgeries for chronic condition is something to which I can relate personally. So I'm particularly pleased to have seen a few hours ago that Ross has emerged from his surgery successfully. And I gather that this puzzle may or may not relate. I suppose everything may or may not relate to something, but I'll be curious, I suppose, to see if this puzzle relates to Ross's experience in any way. Ross wrote a very beautiful and poignant crossword-related blog post about his history with his illness and his history with crossword construction. And it's entitled "The Necessity of Filling Certain Boxes." And I will link that blog post in the description field underneath this video for you to read, if you so desire. So that is some context around today's puzzle. And I'm very much looking forward to solving it. Like I said, Ross is a very experienced crossword constructor, and his puzzles are always excellent. And today's has a bit of an additional resonance. So before we do that, let's discuss a few clues from yesterday's puzzle. George Adams explains that the unofficial Huey nickname of certain U.S. military helicopters was originally applied to the U.S. Army's UH-1 Iroquois helicopter in the 1950s. It was originally designated the HU-1, whence the nickname Huey. And Caleb Alberton explains regarding Ken-Ken puzzles, which came up in the puzzle. They require the solver to position digits 1 through X in an X by X grid, such that, like Sudoku, there are no repeating digits in any rows or columns, and the digits in Tetris-like subdivisions come to a given value with a given mathematical operation. Okay. Kathy Swope points out that I never went back to Grigri, G-R-I-G-R-I, which was a clue that was partially filled. It dealt with belaying a rock face. And it's true, I completely forgot about it and didn't return to the fill once it had been complete. Anyway, apparently this is an assisted braking belay device manufactured by Petzl, designed to help secure rock climbing, rappelling, and rope acrobatic activities. I don't recall ever seeing this answer in any crossword before. I don't recall seeing it in any crossword or anywhere else, for that matter. That's interesting. And unusual to have, I think unusual anyway, to have a branded, something that obscure that is a brand, or at least I would consider it obscure. So obviously not to someone more familiar with rock climbing. Okay, and then we had a few, here we have from Kathleen Quinn, the political banner, "Nevertheless, She Persisted," derives from conduct on the U.S. Senate floor by Senator Elizabeth Warren of my home state of Massachusetts. When presiding Senate Chair Daines interrupted Warren during her floor speech as she was reading the words of MLK's widow, Coretta Scott King, and then when Senate Majority Leader Mitch McConnell intervened to prevent her from finishing the speech, many women, regardless of their particular politics, felt silenced. McConnell later remarked of Warren, "She was warned, she gave an explanation, nevertheless, she persisted." Warren and the U.S. women's rights movement adopted the phrase as a political banner. And finally, we have a couple of clues about the theme itself from yesterday's puzzle, which dealt with the Nordic cross that adorns the flag of all of the Nordic countries in different configurations. And Joseph George Blaze says, I posted this on the Discord as well, but I enjoy the way the revealer is doing double duty. There are 2 crosses in the black cells, but also the 2 pairs of Nordic country answers cross each other to form 2 Nordic crosses in the answers. I didn't notice that. So the answers themselves formed crosses. And Zio R95 says, fun theme, though no love for the Faroe Islands. That's true. We left out the Nordic Faroe Islands. The Sweden-Norway cross reminds me of a fun moment during the 2018 Men's World Cup, when those 2 countries wound up playing one another in the round of 16. On the scoreboard, teams or countries are represented in 3 letters. So this match, and the accompanying trend hashtag on Twitter, was Sweden, with the letters omitted being Denmark. That's fantastic. So Sweden, Denmark, Sweden, and then the letters that were removed from Sweden and Denmark are Denmark, spelling the other country. That's incredible. Not sure of any other fixtures that would fit this pattern. Let me know if you know of any. All right, so that was a whole slew of context from yesterday's puzzle. Let's move on to today's. Well, I already explained it, I suppose. This is a Wednesday crossword constructed by Jessie Bullock and Ross Trudeau, edited, as always, by Will Shorts. It's a Wednesday puzzle, so it will have some kind of theme, despite not having a title, and we will just have to determine what that is. Well, Ross actually he described the experience of constructing a themed puzzle in the blog post that I will link in the description field, and I don't know if that's the puzzle we're about to solve or not. If it is, I suppose I've been spoiled on it, but it was a few days ago when he first posted it that I read it, so I don't actually remember all of the spoilers, if indeed they were spoilers. All right, here we go. Blank fair in love and war. All's fair in love and war. Gertrude, who wrote, Rose is a road. Gertrude Stein. And type of horse known for endurance riding, an Arab, I believe. Here we have edible part of a taro plant, taro root, common in Japanese cuisine. And a unit of 17 across, and then 17 C16 across. Could be acre and land, possibly. An acre is a unit of land. Let's check the crosses. High regard for one's hometown, say. Could be local pride. And this does look like acre. So if we put an R in there, we have act high and mighty toward. Could be lord over. Lord it over. There we go. That looks right. Start of a tax form, line A, I guess. In blank Latin, language of the Vatican. Oh, interesting. Neo-Latin, perhaps? That would be my guess. Actually, I didn't know that there was a different modern form of Latin, but I suppose it makes sense that there would be. You'd need to refer to concepts that probably didn't exist in the actual era of spoken Latin. Speculations that don't pay off are bad investments. And some fine cigars are Havana cigars, I would think, Cuban. SOS means help. And as we learned in a crossword maybe a couple of months ago, SOS doesn't actually stand for anything. It's just easy to tap out in Morse code. There have been retroactively applied unpackings like save our ship or save our souls, but in fact, it's just letters. All right, expectorated. If you expectorated, you spat. And draft choices could be ales. You could have an ale on tap in a bar or pub. Take this, you could say, oh, here, take this crossword answer. And 5 across is down with has, is down with a particular illness, for instance, has it. And so indeed, acre and area. Acre is the unit, and area is what the unit describes. Okay. Oh, I thought it was land. No, sorry, right. It wasn't land at all. It was area. Okay. Here we have shortest month of the year. Shortest month of the year. Okay, did I do something wrong? Bad investments does look right, but this would be February. But also there's no abbreviation indicator here. So it wouldn't make sense to have Feb because nothing in the clue shortest month of the year is abbreviated to allow February to be abbreviated. So what is this? It's not, what is it? I don't know. What about this? Fireworks path, an arc. Is this something very obvious that I'm just sort of glossing over? Shortest month of the year. I'm very sorry. I'm going to have to move on and come back to it. Canadian birthplace of Ray Don Chong and Michael J. Fox. Probably Alberta, I guess, based on the fill. Young love. And here we have loved, loved, loved. 8 up, maybe? First thought was adored, but that's too many letters. 8 up, just loved it. Difference between icky and picky. A P? Spelled out phonetically, maybe? Place for pigeons to sit. They often sit on a ledge. And boots from down on under. Uggs. The Australian-derived boot brand. And I've had Australians tell me that Uggs are not Australian, but they definitely did start in Australia. I looked that up once because I was told that so frequently. Okay. Make tweaks to is edit. And shade akin to cream is beige. So here we have young love is teen crush. There we go, teen crush, a crush in one's teen years. And journeys for people who are relocating. One-way trips. Okay, so we have some kind of theme going on here. Bad investments, one-way trips. So, yeah, there's something about finality or something going on here, which maybe is around the theme of death or risk. All right, like the anagram, I'll make a wise phrase for William Shakespeare. Oh, I see. Apt. Oh, wow. Okay. So I see. The phrase, I'll make a wise phrase, itself is an anagram of William Shakespeare. It's comprised of the letters that make up William Shakespeare's name. Interesting. And it is an apt anagram because, indeed, Shakespeare would make a wise phrase and did on many occasions. Okay, to assume the role of could be act as, to assume the role of somebody, to act as that person. And to boast is to crow, to brag. Leading role in the X-Men films. I am not sure. Starting with a W, interesting. I don't know. Early TVR device, TiVo, one of those boxes that will record television for you. And writer Blank Rogers St. John's. Not sure about this either offhand. Let's go back up to where we left off with the acrosses. Landed, alit, touched ground. And Beethoven's Für Elise, famous piano piece. And Cather, who wrote Oh Pioneers. That's Willa Cather, the American author. And a website, question mark. So we have some kind of a pun going on here. We shouldn't read this on its surface meaning. So it probably doesn't mean simply a page on the internet. What does it mean? Website. Site of a web. Oh, an attic. Full of cobwebs. There we go. The attic is the site of cobwebs. So it is a website. And accumulating bank deposits, question mark. Silts. Silt. You'll have silt in the deposit on a riverbank, I guess, is what this is saying. And again, we've got the question mark, which is our pun indicator. There's some kind of wordplay going on here. And that's because, of course, the surface meaning of this you would think accumulating deposits of funds in a bank account, but no. Nope, not today. So the cut of a dress maybe could be, the dress could have a slit in it, certain styles of dresses, and abolitionist Thaddeus Stevens, American a slavery abolitionist. And some court winners. Service aces. Okay, so what is this? Bad investments, one-way trips, service aces. I don't see what connects these. Going to have to wait for the revealer. Hopefully it will be explained in the revealer, which is the explanatory theme answer clue that ties these theme answers together. What is this X-Men film's leading role? I have no idea. Doesn't look like anything. I'll just have to see. Battle of Britain attack. The Blitz. Doesn't look like it fits unless service aces is wrong. Low Island or Reef could be a K, I believe. And Obama 2019 to 2017. So that would roughly describe the Obama era. And high-end Italian scooter is a Vespa. Classic scooter. A cry between ready and go. Ready, set, go. Cry Without Walls poet. Auden, W.H. Auden. And peaks. If you're in a bit of a peak, you're sort of irritated, you're in a slightly bad mood, you could be having a snit. You could be in a snit. So peaks, snits. One responsive to voice commands. This would be, I guess, one of the current crop of virtual voice assistants. Siri, the Apple one. A long-haired feline. Peruvian cat or some cat. I would bet this ends with cat. Oh, Persian cat. There we go. Persian cat. That's much more plausible than Peruvian cat. Okay. A large number of something is a host of something. And if it's unscrew-upable, it is idiot-proof. Followers of mornings are aft. So here we have sort of a poetic way to refer to morning and afternoon. Morn and aft. And a bacteria-inhibiting drug. I'm not sure offhand. What about this? Centers of activities. Loci or loci. The locus, plural of locus, the sort of center of something. Head of a brewery, foam. So that matches our draft choices, ales. You could have foam on your draft ale. And a popular game with virtual people with this came up in maybe yesterday's crossword. Sim was an inhabitant of this computer game series, but in this case, it's the game itself, The Sims. And we have that with so The Sims. And here's our revealer. We stumbled upon the revealer, exactly where we would expect it to be, near the bottom of the grid, in the across answers, usually trending towards the eastern side of the grid, which this is just barely. So, sign in some clothing stores, or a hint to 1925 and 44 across. Oh, something about returns. Oh, something is not or can't be returned. Bad investment, no returns on that. One-way trip, well, it's one way intrinsically. And service aces in tennis, by definition, it has not been returned. So what is this? Why can I not see what it is? Let's check the crosses here. Blank and void, null and void. No returns, I'm guessing this is. Volume of Horace. The odes, I bet. Classic, gotta have odes. The official poetic form of the New York Times crossword. And a Japanese noodle is udon, noodles. Here we have meadows are leis, Leas, and answer to the riddle, what can go up and down without moving? A road, I guess. And subject of Netflix's Have a Good Trip. Not familiar with that, but it must be LSD. An LSD trip must be what that's referring to. And so, why do I still not see what this is? All right. Blank wrestling. Arm wrestling, mud wrestling, thumb wrestling. Those are all one letter too few or one letter too many. Sumo wrestling. How about that? Oh, sorry, no returns. There we go. Okay, I'm not surprised I didn't get that, but it does fit perfectly well. Sorry, no returns. Sorry, no returns on your bad investments, your one-way trips, and your service aces. Sorry about that. All right, what about this? Battle of Britain attack, and here we have leading role in the X-Men films. Is this Adele? Oh, Wolverine. I see. Sorry. I probably should have gotten that more quickly. Adela Rogers, St. John's? Air Raid. I see. Okay. I was looking for a particular name of a battle or an attack or something, but no, this is referring to air raids in general during the Battle of Britain. Yes, there we go, in bombing campaigns. All right, and then Adela Rogers, St. John's, and here we have Louis Dreyfus of Veep. Julia, sorry, mind blanked for a moment there. Julia Louis Dreyfus of Veep, also known for her role on Seinfeld. Skincare brand is Olay, and to scribble something down is to jot it down. So then we have a citizen of Muscat, indeed Omani, Muscat Oman, and messed around with is toyed with. And there is the Wednesday crossword. And that, I think, was a pretty smooth solve for a Wednesday. It was on the gentler side, I think, for a Wednesday puzzle. But a nice theme here, and one of those themes where I got all of the answers before I could sort of slightly scratch at something that was going on that was connecting these things. There did seem to be some element of finality, but I couldn't quite put it into a nice pithy revealer, which we got. We got our nice pithy revealer that did tie all three together. Sorry, no returns on your bad investments, one-way trips, and service aces. And so there is sort of a slight hint of tongue-in-cheek fatalism about this that perhaps you could read into alongside Ross's essay and recent and lifelong experiences. But yes, a very nice, smooth solving puzzle. I really enjoyed it. And I hope you did as well. And let me know what you thought of it and what you thought of this video. And also if you read Ross's essay, which again, I thought was very, very poignant, and I would commend it to you. And will be linked in the description field underneath the video. And I think that's it. I think that's, it was a fairly, like I said, a fairly approachable and gentle puzzle. I don't think it needs a huge amount of picking apart. A few tough crosses for me, but was able to get them with everything else that was available. So not too tough. All right, I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you enjoyed the puzzle and the video. If so, please do subscribe to the channel, and you will receive notifications about these videos according to your own notification preferences on YouTube, which might be none of them. But if you subscribe, it will be easier to follow this series. So thank you to everybody who has done so. And there you can follow me on Twitter @TheDailySolve. And there is the Patreon campaign, as I mentioned at the beginning of this video. In addition to the higher tier benefactor level, which grants you that recognition on the opening of these videos, as well as the Daily Solve coffee mug at that tier as well. There's also the standard tier for just a few pounds a month, or the equivalent in your local currency, where you will receive a whole bevy of bonus video solves, the months and months of them that have already been published to date, dozens of those videos, as well as the new ones that go up each week. And just yesterday, I posted the latest bonus solve, and that was 5 puzzles constructed by members of the Daily Solve Discord chat server. And there were, I think, 2 standard mini puzzles, 1 standard full-size grid, and maybe 3 minis, 1 full-size grid, and a mini cryptic. There we go. And that was extremely enjoyable and gave me quite a workout. So check that out if you're a member of the Patreon campaign. It's on Patreon campaign as of yesterday, and I would definitely like to do more of those. I'll keep an eye on the Crossword, the Constructor's Corner channel in the Discord chat server for new puzzles that I can solve for the Patreon, because that was a whole lot of fun. And if you'd like to join that Discord chat server, you can do so. There's a link to that in the description field underneath the video as well. And if you're a Patreon subscriber, you'll get an extra channel in there. All right. I think that's it. I think that's it for today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you'll be back tomorrow for the Thursday puzzle. As I always say, the first really tricky puzzle of the week. So we'll just have to see what's in store for us then. I hope you'll join me to find out as well. But until that point, please do have an excellent remainder of your Wednesday, and best wishes to Ross Trudeau in his recovery. All right, take care.